remains down on Maharashtra campaign. Who has the edge in Mahayuddh? From Mahayuti's "Ek hai to safe hai" war cry,
एक है तो हमें एकजुट रहकर कांग्रेस के खतरनाक खेल को नाकाम करना है.
to Aghadi's Samvidhan narrative.
दूसरी तरफ वो शक्तियां जो संविधान को, अंबेडकर जी के संविधान को क्रश करना चाहती हैं, खत्म करना चाहती हैं, फाड़कर फेंकना चाहती हैं.
Maharashtra will now take their pick. Maharashtra votes, the final countdown. Top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Hello and welcome. Good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshata Nandagopal, and yes, it's curtains down of what's been a high voltage, intense campaign by both the Mahayuti and the Mahavikas Aghadi this Maharashtra election. In less than 48 hours from now, the people of Maharashtra will have their say, will take their pick. We'll be rounding up for you all that we witnessed, the highs and the lows of the campaign in the last few weeks. Let's begin. And it's curtains down on the Maharashtra campaign. Less than 48 hours to go now for polling in Maharashtra. Remember, polling is on November 20th. It's a tough fight between the Mahayuti and the Mahavikas Aghadi. A whole lot at stake, and that was very clear in the high voltage campaign that were witnessed between both sides in this election as well. In the last few weeks, we've been seeing barbs flying thick and fast, a whole lot of polarization also, and downright personal comments between these political rivals as Maharashtra is up for grabs. There is, of course, so much to talk about in this election, besides the fact that the people of Maharashtra will have their say on whose development story they believe in. There's also going to be a decisive vote on exactly who they choose, the real Shiv Sena, the real NCP. So all of those are issues also that will come up in this election. Now, with less than 48 hours to go for polling in Maharashtra, we're going to be telling you at this point exactly how every leader involved in this high-octane political narrative has been out there campaigning on the very last day, pushing forward at the very end to go ahead and seek more votes, and campaigning for some of the most high-profile candidates as well. And we'll be telling you about who went where in just a bit. And let's bring in on this broadcast our managing editor, Sahil Joshi, who's been tracking, of course, all the latest from Maharashtra, traveling across the state and giving us a sense what's been happening. Sahil, curtains down, a very, very intense campaign that you've been tracking from the ground. But I'm sure everyone's wondering right now, as we go into now polling, who has the edge, Sahil, as per you, while you've tracked these campaigns?
Well, it is going to be a very closely fight election because there are a lot of other factors involved. There are too many variables involved. At the same time, both the alliances have ensured that their alliance partners were on the toes, and because of that, there are a lot of independents, rebels. What we can talk about, there are factors about the smaller parties like MNS, Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, and as well as the third front, which is formed by the leaders from Western Maharashtra. So there are multi-angle fight which is going to happen in many of the places. So more I can see right now is that rather than a pan-Maharashtra contest, it is going to be a assembly segment to assembly segment contest. Everywhere there is going to be a different fight altogether. In Konkan, Mumbai and Thane region, it is more of Shiv Sena versus Shiva Sena fight, what we are going to see in Western Maharashtra, some parts of Marathwada, it is going to be against NCP versus NCP. And a large chunk of Vidarbha, it's going to be a fight between the two national parties, the BJP as well as Congress. Dominantly, what we can see that the Congress versus BJP is going to fight on almost 75 seats. The Sena versus Sena fight is going to happen on 47 seats, whereas the NCP versus NCP is on 36 seats. So these are going to be the major seats where we will see a very close contest with effect from the independents, rebels, and the smaller parties. So, the multiple issues came up during the campaign. The UP chief minister, when he came to Maharashtra, he coined the slogan called "Batenge to Katenge."
Yeah.
The prime minister, moderated it to "Ek hai to saath hai," and there was a counter from the Mahavikas Aghadi that the politics of division, the politics of polarization will not work in Maharashtra. But the major factor which remained to be at the core or at the center point is going to be the impact of the Ladli Behna scheme, the Ladki Bahin scheme declared by, implemented by the Mahayuti government just 2 months before the election. And that is going to be the crucial. We will have to wait and see whether it actually makes any impact on the ground on 28th or not. But this is going to be a most important and interesting election I have ever seen since 1999. 6 parties, 2 parties splitting into 4. You name an issue which is not in the fray at this point of time. Multiple promises have been made from Mahayuti as well as from Mahavikas Aghadi. It is going to make very crucial implication on the economic condition of Maharashtra as well post-election. So this is going to be a very interesting fight we'll be seeing on 20th of November when people will cast their vote in Maharashtra.
Sahil, what's the X factor to you? Is it the women vote? Is it the farmer vote? What is it going to be in Maharashtra?
The women voters, we have been traveling across Maharashtra. The women voters were pretty vocal about the Ladki Behin scheme. Almost more than 2 crore women received payment of almost 7,000 rupees in their accounts from the government, and they have acknowledged that there is a payment to the worth of 7,000 rupees in their account. In the urban sectors, because Maharashtra is a very urbanized state, almost 45% of the state is urban and semi-urban population. There, the women were more vocal about the scheme, whereas in the as you go rural side of the Maharashtra, there were multiple other issues like the agrarian crisis, specifically the soybean farmers who have been demanding the MSP for their crop. Which they have been waiting for since very long time. In 2014, they were getting almost 4,100 rupees for their crop, and now they are getting 4,200 rupees. So it has not made any kind of impact on them, despite various governments in place in Maharashtra. So, that is also going to be a major factor. The third X factor is going to be the Maratha reservation issue, which is dominantly raised in the Marathwada area. The Zarange Patil, the crusader for the Maratha agitation, is also going to be an X factor. It made a big dent to the BJP in Lok Sabha elections, which happened in the May 2024. Okay. Now, whether it has the similar impact after 6 months is going to be also a major point. Is what I can see at this point of time.
All right. Sahil, thank you very much for joining us. The hectic bit of the coverage is over with the campaign, but of course, we're going to keep coming across to you for the updates. Polling expected on 20th, so in less than 48 hours from now. Thanks very much, Sahil, for joining us on 6 p.m. Prime. Let me now open this up and bring in our consulting editor, Rajdeep Sardesai, or should I say, our Maharashtra Maja, who's been traveling across Maharashtra on a chopper, visiting several crucial assembly seats to get you a sense of what people have to say. So, Rajdeep, the same question that I started off with Sahil, who do you think's got the edge going into polling? What did you make of the entire campaign, Rajdeep?
Well, thanks very much, Akshita. The sense I get from the campaign is that this was a campaign with a lot of noise, but unfortunately very little substance. You get a sense that these are 2 alliances that have been formed out of compulsion, not out of choice. And therefore, some of those contradictions have come out in the course of the campaign. You would see, for example, Ajit Pawar was missing in some of the rallies organized by the BJP and the Shiv Sena. On the other side, you could see on the ground, there were places where there was some element of tension between local BJP and local Shiv Sena candidates, because the candidate who had been denied a seat would often contest as an independent or a rebel. So I think Maharashtra, to be very honest, I use this word, has been a maha mess. And that was reflected to some extent in the campaign itself. Yes, the BJP Shiv Sena ruling alliance pushed the Ladki Bahin scheme as their core narrative and plastered the entire landscape of Maharashtra with their hoardings. I mean, the amount of money that perhaps went into that is a huge question, but that's for another day. On the other hand, I think the Congress campaign perhaps took off a little late. They somehow didn't react swiftly enough to Ladki Bahin. But they've raised important issues like soybean prices, for example, which is one of the hidden X factors of this election, the lack of a minimum support price for soybean farmers. So there are a variety of issues that could play a role on the ground. But overall, I think the campaign lacked the substance that you would have hoped for, given that there are so many issues that are swirling in the wind. And remember, in the last stage, when the BJP raised the issue of religion and religious divide and vote jihad, that in a way appeared to also give an added edge to a slight toxic edge, if I may use the word, to the overall Maharashtra campaign. But net, a bit of a maha mess.
So you're saying toxic edge. Are you referring to an advantage then, Rajdeep? You know, the polarization of this election, is it something that actually works in Maharashtra? You've tracked so many elections. So keeping that in mind, have you seen something like this before? And does it work on ground? Was it a planned strategy?
Well, look, religious polarization has worked, but only up to a certain limit in Maharashtra. If it worked, then the BJP in the 1990s, when the Ram wave was at its peak in North India, it didn't quite ever get power on its own in Maharashtra. It relied on the Shiv Sena to actually form a government for the first time in 1995. I think religious polarization has its limits in Maharashtra because there are other countervailing forces, particularly caste alignments, and dare I say certain social progressive forces that speak about Phule, Shahu, Ambedkar. So I think in Maharashtra, just on religious polarization, you can't win an election. It may happen in urban areas, but particularly in rural Maharashtra, I think agrarian distress in places like Vidarbha, caste reservations, Maratha reservations in Marathwada, and extremely localized issues in other parts meant that religious polarization, to my mind, has some limits in a state like Maharashtra. You can't win the entire state by making an appeal on the grounds of Hindutva.
And my final question to you, Rajdeep, Sahil was referring to how this is an election like no other that he's covered in Maharashtra because of all that's at stake for the Shiv Sena, for the NCP, for both the factions. Do you think that's something that's also weighing on voters' minds, that their decision on November 20th among these parties will essentially settle who's the real Shiv Sena, who's the real NCP debate?
Well, to some extent, undoubtedly, this election is a do-or-die battle, both for the two factions of the NCP and the two factions of the Shiv Sena. I think it will decide certainly which is the dominant faction between the two. I think the Lok Sabha was the first round, but this becomes the crucial round because this is a state election. And given all that has happened in Maharashtra in the last 5 years, for both the NCP factions and both the Shiv Sena factions, the results will decide the identity of who is the real Shiv Sena or the real NCP. And the stakes, therefore, are much higher for these two parties because particularly in several parts of Maharashtra, they're in face-to-face contest with each other. Mumbai, Konkan is the two Shiv Senas. Western Maharashtra is primarily the two NCP factions. So I think that is one of the battles within a battle and will decide the final, even the final outcome. Both, Ajit Pawar and Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar. For them, this is the battle for political relevance at the moment in a state like Maharashtra. And it'll be interesting to see how they actually eventually fare because they've taken very different routes to try and acquire power. The fact is that the Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray faction have made this in some level about Maharashtrian Asmita, about how regional parties were broken. While Ajit Pawar and Eknath Shinde are dependent primarily on the BJP's machine to a large extent to take them forward. So it'll be interesting to see how this eventually plays out. But that certainly is one of the battles within a battle here in Maharashtra.
All right. Thank you very much, Rajdeep. We look forward to having you back here in the studios. Rajdeep, of course, is back after extensively covering Maharashtra, and you've heard from him on what he has to say about this entire campaign that we witnessed in Maharashtra. We've been witness to perhaps one of the most electric contests, and that's played out also in these massive rallies, in the kind of speeches that we witnessed from every single political leader, because all of them know what's at stake in this election. So we want to kind of take a look at some of the highs and lows of this campaign. We've seen a whole lot of polarization, as we mentioned earlier. Here's a look at some of those comments.
अलग-अलग जातियों में टूटने से आप सोचिए कमजोर हो जाएंगे कि नहीं हो जाएंगे। एक है तो हमें एकजुट रहकर कांग्रेस के खतरनाक खेल को नाकाम करना है और विकास के रास्ते पर आगे बढ़ते रहना है।
पिछले चुनाव में वोट जिहाद देखा, एक प्रकार से उनके सारे धर्मस्थलों के ऊपर बैनर लगे, पोस्टर लगे, कस्में दिलाई गई और लोगों को वोटिंग के लिए बाध्य किया गया और कहा बस एक ही चीज करनी है, मोदी जी को हराना है, ये कहकर एक वोट जिहाद किया गया।
और भाइयों, 20 नवंबर को हमें ये बात जरूर ध्यान में रखना है कि बटेंगे तो एक रहेंगे।
इसमें कहीं लिखा हुआ है क्या कि हमें एक दूसरे को मारना चाहिए, गाली देनी चाहिए? इसमें लिखा है क्या? मुझे दिखा दो कहां लिखा है इसमें, मुझे दिखा दो इसमें कहां लिखा है कि गरीब लोगों को दबाया जाना चाहिए, किसानों को सही दाम नहीं दिया जाना चाहिए? इसमें कहां लिखा है? हाँ, तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इस किताब को, मैं गारंटी लिख के कह रहा हूं, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इस किताब को पढ़ा तक नहीं है।
जातीय जनगणना करने का हमने फैसला लिया है और जो 50% सीलिंग है उसको भी हम हटाएंगे।
मैं पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या अकोला जिले के ओबीसी के लोग आप बीजेपी को वोट करोगे जो तुमको कुत्ता बोलते हैं? नहीं, आप बीजेपी को कुत्ता बनाने का समय आ गया है। बीजेपी को कुत्ता बनाने का समय आ गया है।
आपने ये भी कहा कि ये चुनाव आपके काम पे आप लड़ना चाहते हैं। उस बीच में एक नैरेटिव आ जाती है जिसके बारे में भी जिक्र अब हो रही है, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, एक है तो सेफ है। और इससे क्या हो रहा है? आप ही के सहयोगी अजीत पवार कह रहे हैं ये गलत है, आप ही के सहयोगी अशोक चव्हाण कह रहे हैं इसकी कोई जगह महाराष्ट्र में नहीं है, इस तरह की बातचीत की, बटोगे तो कटोगे। पंकजा मुंडे ये कह रहे हैं। कहीं ना कहीं इससे जो आप विकास की बात करते हैं, डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं, वहीं योगी आदित्यनाथ यहां आकर बटोगे तो कटोगे की बात करते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री बात करते हैं एक है तो सेफ है। एक है तो सेफ है, ये कहने में कोई गलत है? नहीं, सेफ किसकी? क्या डर का आप डर फैला रहे हैं? नहीं, आज सेफ किसके बारे में? आज हम देश में कहीं पर भी जाते हैं तो हमें सुरक्षित महसूस करते हैं। तो महाराष्ट्र सुरक्षित है ना? तो फिर एक है तो सेफ है कहने की क्या जरूरत है? यानी आप कहीं ना कहीं टारगेट किसी को कर रहे हैं। नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। हम जो फेक नैरेटिव में, हम जो विपक्ष के फेक नैरेटिव में उनको सफलता मिली, अभी हम वो सफलता उनको नहीं मिलेगी, इसीलिए एक होकर, वो एकजुट होकर वोट करो। क्या तकलीफ है? हमने कहा है होकर कौन वोट करे? हिंदू वोट बैंक की राजनीति है, हिंदू वोट बैंक की राजनीति है। परसेंटेज बढ़ाना वो तो सबका काम है। आपकी पार्टी 2 साल पहले टूट गई, कई एमएलए एकनाथ शिंदे जी के साथ गए,
जब लोकसभा चुनाव हुए आप करीब 21 सीटें लड़े, आप 9 सीटें जीते। एकनाथ शिंदे करीब 15 सीटें लड़े, 7 जीते। आपके आमने सामने में 13 सीटों में से 7 उनको आई, 6 आपको आई। तो ये जो है कि असली शिवसेना कौन?
असली शिवसेना अगर तय करनी है
जी,
तो मेरे पिताजी का फोटो आप क्यों इस्तेमाल कर रहे हो? आप मेरे पिताजी का फोटो इस्तेमाल करेंगे, मेरे पार्टी का नाम इस्तेमाल करेंगे, मेरे सिंबल इस्तेमाल करेंगे, और चोरी डकैती कर डकैत कोई बोल नहीं सकता कि मैं असली मालिक हूं।
नहीं, उनका कहना है वो असली शिवसेना है। उनका कहना है वो असली शिवसेना है।
वो तो अभी
सिंबल भी मिल गया, धनुष बाण का सिंबल भी मिल गया, तो उनका कहना है हम असली शिवसेना
मिल नहीं गया। वो जैसे एकनाथ शिंदे ने मिंदे, मैं तो उसको मिंदे बोलता हूं क्योंकि उन्होंने मेरा नाम चुराने की कोशिश की, तो वो जो है मिंदे मतलब उनके बूट चाटने वाला
जी।
तो उस मिंदे को मैं कहता हूं अगर आप में दम है तो अपने पिताजी का फोटो क्यों नहीं लगाते भाई? क्यों नहीं लगाते? और आज मोदी जी भी जैसे वो देखते ना भगवान के नाम पे दे दे बाबा, वैसे बाला साहब के नाम पे दे दे रे बाबा, उनको करने की एक क्यों आगे बात?
ये सब पार्टी आपके पिताजी का नाम इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। मेरा ये सवाल है कि शिवसेना किसी व्यक्ति या किसी फैमिली की पार्टी,
लेकिन चोर की भी तो नहीं है, डकैत की भी तो नहीं है, चोरों की पार्टी नहीं है मेरी। आपने तो चोरी की, आपने मतलब उन्होंने चोरी की है, और उसके जो लीडर है वो तो मोदी जी और शाह जी है, क्योंकि मिंदे ने उनको धन्यवाद दिया है कि धन्यवाद मैं देना चाहता हूं कि आपने मुझे शिवसेना और पार्टी का सिंबल दिया है। तो इसमें सारी बातें साफ है।
तो क्या ये चुनाव तय करेगा कि चोर कौन और पुलिस कौन? क्या असली शिवसेना कौन या नकली शिवसेना कौन? क्योंकि आप पर इल्जाम ये भी लगाया कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने आपको कहा था नकली संतान। तो आप मुझे कह रहे हैं क्या ये चुनाव डिसाइड करेगा असली कौन और नकली कौन?
बिल्कुल करेगा।
So those were some of the highlights of what we witnessed in this campaign. But even on the last day, there's been an all-out political fight. And this is because Rahul Gandhi was in Mumbai, held a press conference where he said, I agree with the Ek Hai to Safe Hai campaign by the BJP, the slogan by the BJP. But here's why. He pulled out a big safe during the press conference, images of which you see on your screens, and then went on to pull out posters to show that according to him, the BJP's Ek Hai to Safe Hai slogan is only for Gautam Adani. The BJP then responded with a Chota Popat jibe. Let's tell you more in the next report.
इस इलेक्शन का नारा मोदी जी ने दिया है और बिल्कुल सही नारा है। एक है तो सेफ है। सवाल है सेफ कौन है, सेफ किसका है, एक कौन है, ये सवाल है।
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi mocks Prime Minister Modi's Ek Hai to Safe Hai war cry with jibe at Adani's Dharavi slum project. Rahul Gandhi took a sharp dig at Modi, accusing him of prioritizing Gautam Adani over the people of Maharashtra. Rahul fired salvos, saying that as long as Modi is there, Adani is safe.
एक है तो सेफ है, एक कौन है? एक नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं, अदानी जी हैं, अमित शाह जी हैं। सेफ है तो कौन सेफ है? अदानी जी सेफ हैं।
Rahul was hitting out at Modi's Ek Hai to Safe Hai war cry in poll-bound Maharashtra.
कांग्रेस एससी, एसटी, ओबीसी समाज की एक जाति को दूसरे के खिलाफ खड़ा कर रही है। अलग अलग जातियों में टूटने से आप सोचिए कमजोर हो जाएंगे कि नहीं हो जाएंगे। एक है तो हमें एकजुट रहकर कांग्रेस के खतरनाक खेल को नाकाम करना है।
The BJP recollected Bala Saheb Thackeray's Chota Popat jibe at Rahul Gandhi, adding that Rahul is seeing treasury everywhere since the Gandhi family is knee-deep in scams.
हिंदुस्तान को लूटने का काम किया है, चाहे नेशनल हेराल्ड का केस हो। तिजोरी के अंदर गांधी परिवार द्वारा लूटा हुआ पैसा बंद, और मां बेटे एक्यूज नंबर 1 और एक्यूज नंबर 2 आज बेल पर बाहर है। उन्होंने पोस्टर दिखाया है तो हम भी पीछे नहीं रहेंगे। ये असली पोस्टर तो ये है। क्या है तिजोरी के अंदर?
मोदी जी ने कहा एक है तो सेफ है। अरे मोदी जी का एक है सेफ है का मतलब है एकता है तो हम सब सुरक्षित हैं।
सबको साथ लेकर के चल रहे हैं, लेकिन तुम जब बोलते हो एक है तो सेफ है, तो तुम्हारे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में अगाड़ी के साथी भी नहीं होते, तुम एक ही होते हो, और एक होते हो तो ही सेफ होते हो, इस बात को समझ लेना चाहिए।
The BJP also highlighted that it was Uddhav government who gave Dharavi project to Adani and not the Mahayuti. BJP reminded Rahul Gandhi about his brother-in-law Robert Vadra's past visit to Adani facilities. BJP also seized on a video by Telangana Chief Minister Revant Reddy admitting that his government took 100 crore rupees welfare funds donation from Adani.
हर जगह में मोदी जी अदानी को पैसे देते जा रहे हैं, मैं अदानी जेब से पैसे ले रहा हूं, इतना फर्क है।
One of India's richest billionaires, Gautam Adani, is once again a mega poll flashpoint. Bureau Report, India Today.
Adani has been a big flashpoint in the Maharashtra elections, Rahul Gandhi repeatedly referring to the Dharavi project. But the final says with the voters in Maharashtra, and on 20th, Wednesday, is when they'll be going out to cast their vote. You can trust us here on India Today to get you all those updates as well.